Oh, so we're live right now. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm your Blue Table Talk host. I'm Deborah Jones. It's good to see you tonight. I hope everybody has had a good day. The weather was beautiful tonight. Even though it was cold, it was still beautiful. But every day is beautiful if it's in God's eyesight.
It's
So with
dirt, right, Miss Deborah?
I'm sorry.
That is always beautiful on this side of the earth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm glad you said that. It is always beautiful because that's God's work. We ain't got nothing to do with it.
Hey,
So tonight we have a special guest for you tonight. But before we get into our special guest and hear what he has to say, I have to do a little housekeeping. So let's talk about our coronavirus. You guys know that Johnson and Johnson is now here. It's in the city of Houston right now, and then it'll go to Dallas after that. So, but after that, I'm sure it come to the Beaumont area, the Southeast Texas area. So Johnson & Johnson's vaccine is here now. You already had the Pfizer and you had the Moderna. So they're all going to be here for everybody. Now they want teachers to be vaccine. They're going everybody really to be vaccinated by the end of May. So let's see what we can do. But if you haven't been vaccinated, you need to think about it. Think about your vaccination and everything. So if you need to be tested to see whether or not you have it before you get vaccinated, you can go to Beaumont Urgent Care, which is 3650 North Major Drive, Suite A. The phone number there is area code 409-332-1212. 1272. I'm sorry. You don't have to wait in line. There's a walk up time, so you can go there. It is rapid, 15-minute rapid test. You go to MD Kids and Pediatrics, 490 I-10 Beaumont, Texas. That's on I-10 North Frontage Road, Suite 100, and their number over there 409-212-9988. You can also go to Christus Promptu Region Care. Urgent Care, and that's on Dollar Road, and that's right by Hobby Lobby. So you can go there and get vaccine, and get tested. They do the testing on Saturdays, but they do the vaccine during the week. So that's what Chris is from too. So they have both of them. So look, everybody know that the governor has been on television today and saying that he's going to open the state of Texas March the 10th. I think it's too early, but that's my speaking. It's too early to open it. He wants to end the state mandated mask. He wants to everybody take the mask off. That's your privilege. That's your whatever you want to do. He said we March the 10th, so we have 8 more days before that. Business can operate at 100%. Can you believe that? The business can also make their own decision whether or not they want to operate at 100%. But it's still too early. He's not listening to the doctors. It's just something that he wants to do. And this is a whole the state of Texas. And I'm understanding that Mississippi is the same way. So that's your choice. That's your take on that. Judge Brandon here in Beaumont, Texas says, I expect there would be an increase in the virus. If he doesn't agree with the governor, but he just hoped that the virus doesn't go up because we're taking off our masks and doing everything like that. But I don't know where Greg Abbott is getting his takes from, but he's the governor, and that's your governor. You voted for him. So
I comment on that.
Yeah, go ahead. Before I introduce you. You want me to introduce you first?
You can introduce me first. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so before my guest come on and start talking about what he want to talk about, that could be the first thing if you want to. So I have in front of us tonight, we have Brandon Johnson. He's running for City Councilman, Ward 4. So if anybody out there is in Ward 4, you got a lot of questions that you need to ask Brandon, go ahead and do it. So Brandon, what you want to comment on?
Well, first, I'm going to say this is definitely the place to ask any questions that you have if you're in Ward 4. I am running for City Council Ward 4. I want to say I agree 1,000% with you. I think we're taking the mask off a little prematurely. Coming from a person who has a daughter, a year. My daughter is 17 months. She has eczema, which is an allergy-based disease. allergy-based ailment or illness, however you want to look at it. So, her mother and I, we took extra precautions to make sure that we didn't expose her to the coronavirus. She didn't go to daycare. She will not go to daycare. My parents, who have underlying conditions, who've been, man, my backbone throughout my daughter's life, because they keep her more than anything. My dad has retired. My mother still goes to work. And when I go to work every day, I'm a local business owner. Whenever I go to work every day, my father keeps her, and my mother helps a lot. I can't expose them to anything. There's a lot of things that I do not do, just on out of love for my parents. I
Right.
don't go to any parties, I don't go to any clubs, I don't go to any social events, I don't go to any rallies and things like that, because my parents, now they're the second love in my life. At first they, for 35 years they were the first love in my life. Now that I have my daughter is my first love. But
Right.
her my daughter's mother, parents, and things like that, I can't run the risk of exposing them to anything. So I think Governor Abbott, and it's not a political party thing. I think Governor Abbott, is allowing us to take the masks off a little prematurely. I don't
Yes.
see it happening, but the numbers skyrocketing. And as a local business owner, if you're going to come into my business, still, you
Yeah.
will ask, and we will still continue to take your temperatures at the door, because it's not just about you; it's about the community.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And tell me you're a patriot and you love this country, and you can't do something as simple as wear a mask.
First, you gotta love yourself first.
Uh,
You gotta love yourself first.
yeah, but if you love this country, then you'll do anything that it'll take to get this country back. Uh,
Right. And they
back.
need to be.
That includes wearing a mask. Then wear the mask. I mean, and here's the deal, Miss Deborah. I'm gonna say this and I'll be done with it. I wear glasses, so
Mhm.
I'm one of those people who, when wearing a mask, my glasses stay foggy. So we struggle twice from
Right.
and foggy glasses. But wear the mask. Let's beat the coronavirus as a whole, and let's move forward as a
Yeah.
country.
As a country.
Yes, ma'am. And that's speaking leadership.
Yeah.
Lead example. If I can wear the mask, you can wear the mask.
Yeah. Let me say hi to some of the people here. Hey Cheryl. Hey Herman. Uh hey Lisa. Hey LaDonna. LaDonna said mask on. So, and Lisa was speaking. Hi Brandon. First, before we even get started, we got started a little prematurely, but we want to talk. We're going to hit on that. Let Brandon introduce himself. Go ahead, Brandon. Introduce yourself for the public.
Before I introduce yourself, how can I see who's all on the call? I'm not able to see that. Or
No, I'm the only one. I would share with you, but
okay,
if you have your phone, you can put it on your phone.
I
Yeah,
can turn it on
yeah,
from my phone
yeah.
also,
But
and
make sure you have your volume down.
on the phone.
Yes.
Yeah, I go to your page, correct, and tune in. Oh, there it is. I see.
All right. And you'll see the people coming up. Okay. All right.
Okay, Herman Davis, man, I've known Herman since I was a child at Our Mother Mercy. Man, he was a huge influence in my life. I'm Brandon Johnson. I'm born and raised in Beaumont, Texas. My mother was formerly known as Bertha Sam. She married my dad, Willie Johnson. I'm 35 years old, local business owner, Beaumont bred. I have a daughter who's a year and a half. She'll be 2 in September. She is definitely the focal point or the center of my life, and she is one of the main reasons I'm running for this position, because I want to influence a positive change in Beaumont. I remember when I grew up in Beaumont, as opposed to the Beaumont that she is growing up in now is totally different. And as a community, I think we can get back to the Beaumont that I grew up in, where the neighbors knew each other. Um,
Right.
knew each other. I know growing up, my dad used to tell me, "Boy, don't get in trouble. There's nothing you can't do in Beaumont we don't find out," because they knew, man, they knew everybody. And I grew up a part of that time. Whenever if I got in trouble at home, or if I got in trouble at a friend's house, or if I got in trouble at school, I got in trouble at home. So if I got whooped at school, I got whooped at home. If my grandparents whooped me, I got whooped at home. If the neighbor whooped me, I
Right.
got We have to. There's no unity. You can't have unity. You can't have community without unity. So we
Yes.
back to that, and we have to do our part as the citizens of Beaumont to make Beaumont the best possible place that it can be. And to Miss Mary Williams, she's a Libra, not a Virgo. Yes, ma'am. Her mother is a Virgo. Oh God, her mother's a Virgo, but my daughter's a Libra.
So why are you interested in running for this position?
I believe that Beaumont as a whole needs to be revitalized completely, from economic development, improving our infrastructure, outreach and mentoring our youth, and Ward 4, which is the ward that I'm running for. Ward 4 in particularly needs a leader that they can trust and be proud of. One that'll give them their voice back, along with transparency, availability, and accessibility. I mean, I'm running for this position because I'm passionate about this city. I'm born and raised here. My parents live here. My family lives here. My daughter will potentially grow up in this area, and so we're here for the long haul. I have a vested interest in this community. Nobody has asked me to run. I'm doing it solely on the love and genuine interest from my family and my community. And Beaumont, like I said, Beaumont is an awesome place. I truly, truly, truly believe that. But we have to get back to the things that made Beaumont great.
So what has prepared you for the position for city councilman?
There's so many different influences that have prepared me for running for city council position. I've been attending these meetings since 2010. Again, I'm a local business owner. I'm very active in our community. I have a nonprofit organization, and for the last 7 or 8 years, we've done an Easter egg hunt. We've done back to school drives. We fed families for holidays and things like that. We've done toy drives and things like that. And now last year we didn't do anything because we didn't want to go against CDC guidelines or the mayoral restrictions that was placed because of coronavirus. But again, I'm a local business owner. I'm very active in our community. I believe my passion to see my city and my community be the best that it can be is what's prepared me for this position. And anything, and more than anything, to become the next councilman for Ward 4.
So what areas does Ward 4 represent?
I'm sorry?
The area. Where's Ward 4?
You have the Pear Orchard, Tripe City, South Park, Terrell Park. I mean, some parts of 11th Street down by Pecos and things like that. A lot of people just think that Ward 4 is just the Pear Orchard and South Park, but I mean, it's a lot broader than that. I actually have all of the streets in my truck because I started my block walking and things like that, trying to be seen and asking the citizens and constituents what exactly that they want from their councilmen and things of that nature. But Ward 4 is a lot bigger than what people think. I always thought Ward 3 was the north end, Ward 4 was the south end, Ward 1 and 2 was the west end. But through my campaign, I've learned a lot more that it's actually bigger than that.
Right.
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
So what makes you stand out from all the other candidates that's running for Ward 4?
Honestly, I believe my passion. I believe that my passion makes me stand out. I'm a person of integrity. I bring innovation to this office. I think that respectfully, Beaumont is behind the times. I remember when Beaumont was ahead of Baytown, and when you would drive from Beaumont to Houston, you would see a block of grass or a block of trees. Now look at Baytown. I have friends and classmates and frat brothers and things like that'll move to Baytown and drive back and forth to go to work every day because it's a safer and it's a better area. Baytown is what Beaumont used to be. So I think, more than anything, that my passion for this city differentiates me or separates me from any of the other candidates, because nobody has asked me to run. This is similar to, I don't want to say community service, but it is community service because my job is to serve my community. And that's what I want to do. I've been in, my work history, I've been in retail since I was 16 years old. And nothing has pleased me more than to see a smile on somebody else's face or going above and beyond to make somebody else happy. And I want to represent Ward 4 and give them something that they can smile about, give them pride in their community again, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know that Ward 4 came all the way out to Pecos Drive or whatever, you know. So I didn't know. To be honest with you, I didn't know what area that was. So that's like the central area where Central High School is, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know it expands all the way back that way. Okay.
For the longest, I didn't either, you know, until I started my campaign. And I kind of give you an example. It's almost 14,000 registered voters in Ward 4 alone. And in 2019, we had less than 2,000 to vote. You know, that's 14% of that. So, you know, and I throw that out there because we have a lot of room, for opportunity right there. Just getting people to come out and vote. You know, that's huge.
And we need to get them out to vote because this is crucial. You know, they think that the national election is what's happening. You know, they got to realize the local election means a lot.
Important.
More important than
Well, off topic, I spoke at King Middle School today, and I told these kids, you know, from 6th grade to 8th grade, that your local elections are far more important than your national.
right.
Mayor Becky Ames or Judge Jeff Brannick said wear a mask today. That's effective immediately. If we come through a hurricane and they say, you know, there's a curfew at 8 o'clock, that's effective immediately. Whoever President Triding or I'm sorry, President Biden,
Mhm.
if he passes a law today, it could be a while before it actually affects us. But anything that happens here locally, it's effective immediate. So, and a lot of people don't understand that.
Let me go to my viewers. Mayor Williams says, so what are you doing to get people out to vote? Do your constituents know who you are?
I have been. I've hosted a meet and greet. LaDonna Sherwood actually threw me a meet and greet at Nels.
She
I'm
said, working on Go TV. Go ahead.
close by, right? You know, you know, she's very influential in my campaign. She's very helpful. She threw a meet and greet at Nels.
Mhm.
2 to 3 Wednesdays ago. I think it was the week before the free. It was the week before the freeze. What am I doing to get my constituents to vote? Here's the deal. The older crowd understands the struggle. We have to take into consideration civil rights is only 55 to 60 years old.
Mhm.
My parents lived through that. They understand the importance of my generation has taken that to a certain degree for granted, and we don't understand the importance of voting. We think our votes don't count. This last election, this last presidential election, I believe, should show you that your vote does. President-elect Joe Biden received 80 million votes, and his predecessor received 74 million votes. Those were record-breaking numbers. Joe Biden received more electoral and popular votes than any other president in the history of our country. So that should show you that our votes do count. They do matter, and I'm hoping that changes the narrative. And I'm going to continue to partner with people like LaDonna Sherwood, who brought out 200 people to vote last election. I mean, that's our local Stacey Abrams. You
Mhm.
know, about 2 weeks ago, I purchased a 15 passenger van. So if you need a ride to the polls, we'll come get you. And I'm willing to do whatever it is to help people vote. If I have to throw a crawfish ball or a barbecue or a party or whatever it is, we're going to do that because your vote does matter. And that is the most powerful form of silent protest that we have. You know, your vote is your protest. It's your voice, and
It's
you
your-
have a chance to elect who actually represents you. And I'm going to continue to educate people why there are local elections, from your mayors, your city councils, your ADAs, your judges, and things that are important because these people actually represent you. You know, they don't understand that the fact that when I spoke to the kids today, they knew who the president was, they knew President Biden, but they didn't even know who the mayor was.
Right.
And that's important because your mayor is the person who represents you in front of your governor. And then your governor goes back to, your Congress and your House and your president and things like that. So you have to have the right representation. You have to the right people to represent you. People who understand you, your struggle, or whatever it is you're going through.
I don't know what schools you went to, Brandon, but I know for a fact that your teachers endorsed about voting, because I guess you don't know that I'm a retired educator, and I taught fourth grade, I taught fifth grade, I taught second grade, I taught first grade, I taught 6th, 7th, 8th grade math. But every student that has come past in my classroom, I have told them the importance of voting, and then tell them who to vote for. About make sure that if you have an 18-year-old or older, you make sure they go to the polls and vote.
Miss Deborah, I'm registered. I am deputized to actually get people to register to vote. That's how much I believe in this. That's how much I believe in this. If you're not registered to vote, you can come to me at my office, or I'll come to you. I'll come to you. And again, we bought a 15-passenger van for this election, because this is a very, very important election, and it's almost momentum changing. We have a huge opportunity here in Beaumont. So whatever the changes you want to see made in Beaumont, there's candidates in this current election that can impact that change that you want to see. Whether it's crime, whether it's the educational, economic development, infrastructure, nightlife, whatever it is, we have candidates here. We have a lineup that's willing to influence that.
Yeah. So how do you plan to involve your residents in the decision-making process in our city or your community? How you plan to do that?
I want to involve my residents in the decision-making process by being very transparent. I've spoken to people in my team. We want to hold town hall meetings, surveys, community meetings, keeping them in the know of what we're doing in the city. Because if I win this position, if I'm elected this position, I am the voice for Ward 4.
Yes.
My job is to serve Ward 4.
Yes, and they will be coming to you now.
And I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
You
A gentleman
have to be ready.
that I knew who represented Ward 4 once upon a time told me that he had his personal cell phone on his business card, so that way he could do the best possible job that he could for his constituents. And I'm willing to, I'm ready to take the baton and do the same thing, because I don't want to represent Ward 4 for just 2 years, one term.
Right.
And my me being reelected, if I'm elected in the beginning, me being reelected will determine how good of a job that I do. So town hall, community meetings, surveys, and things like that, keeping my constituents in the know. Now, with us having a pandemic, we can put together Zoom meetings and things like that. I believe in coalitions and partnering with people. I know Charlton Pilot has a community town hall meeting.
Yeah.
I'm very I speak with the gentleman who's the president of that organization frequently.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to give the voice back to my community. Let them have a voice. Come to the city council meetings. I understand they start at 1:30. One of the previous candidates who was on your show even spoke about having evening meetings and things like that. I'm here for that. If you have an issue with Ward 4, whether it's lighting, streets, drainage, brown water, crime, whatever it is, let me know.
Right.
And as a community, need to look at a way where we can resolve and fix these issues.
Right.
Again, you can't have community without unity. So we have to work together. Just because I'm the voice doesn't mean I'm the final say. I'm not
right.
We have to work together in making Ward 4 and Beaumont the best possible place it can be.
Right.
And if it's beating grassroots, beating your feet, whatever it is that it takes to get the job done, we're here for it.
So, Brandon, tell me, if you lose, will you still continue to support your community or the city?
Ms. Deborah Jones, I've been working in the community for as long as I can remember. My nonprofit has done Easter egg hunts, back to school drives. We've worked with coats for the homeless. We fed families throughout the holidays. We've done toy drives through Christmas. We've done Virginia Manor, Washington Manor, Sunlight Manor, things like that. So yes, I don't need a political platform to continue to do what I'm doing. I do it out of the goodness of my heart and because I believe in Beaumont as a whole. So yes, we're going to continue. I'm going to continue to do it. My nonprofit organization is going to continue to do it. We're here for the long haul because we actually care.
Right.
So regardless who's there in that particular seat, I'm willing to work with them if they'll work with me.
Okay, so we just had this big storm, this big ice storm. So what did your organization do for that?
We actually donated money. LaDonna Sherwood, and I hate to name drop. I know she was very instrumental in getting water to one of these organizations. I was in Houston. I went down there and because of the freeze, my daughter and I went down there, and because of the freeze, we weren't able to come back.
Right.
But we did send
Y'all,
money.
y'all didn't run like Ted Cruz did, huh?
Never ran from a problem before, and I hung up and back in high school, so I don't run too much no more. I'm 35, going on 36. I don't do too much running. I have a treadmill in my garage, and it does nothing else but collect dust. But no, and man, I'm not gonna even Ted Cruz. I would have loved to have gone to Cancun, but
Me too. Me too.
that was nice. No, we actually sent money here to help people purchase water and things of that nature. I would have loved to have been able to put some of the homeless in places where they could have been safe and warm and things like that. Unfortunately, I was not here. Unfortunately, I was not here, and it broke my heart. I did see a number of people who were active in the community, some of my frat brothers and things of that nature, some of the other candidates. I spoke to people every day. I did try to keep as many people in the know as possible with what was going on with the weather and things of that nature. Boil water notice to keeping your pipes, keeping your water running, and things of that nature. I was not here,
Mm-hmm.
and that was unfortunate. But at the same time, I think educating people from my platform, social media, gave me the ability to let people know, hey, you need to allow your water to run. You know, I knew when I was leaving, I let my water run. I thought it was gonna freeze just the weekend, and I let my water run just the weekend. Well, when I found out it was throughout the week, it continued to run, and something like that gave my particular home, my homestead, my pipes didn't freeze.
Right.
Heart goes out to the people who are homeless who had to endure or bear that freeze. But just because I missed one particular event or one
Mm-hmm.
particular crisis doesn't negate the fact that I've been boots on the ground for a number of years working in my community.
Right. And it's good because you're young,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
it's good to see that you're passionate about your community. So that is one thing people should be when they're running for an office. They have to be passionate, about where they live or what they're doing, or people out there. They have to. I pass by when I go to the store around the corner from my house all the time, the grocery store. I pass by this these tents and everything where the homeless people live. It's the woods,
It breaks
and
my heart.
it breaks. You just took it out of my mouth. It breaks my heart to see that. And I always said, if I won the lottery, I could
Well,
just and do.
here's the deal. One of my passions, um, is to start a homeless rehab, not a homeless shelter because I don't want to house them.
Mm-hmm.
Rehab where we can house them temporarily, clean, cut their hair, get them fitted for a suit or a nice dress or something, and get them an interview at some of the local businesses and things like that, and get them back into the workforce.
Mm-hmm.
The
But they don't want to work. Some of them don't want to work. Some of them do not want to work. And some of them don't even, to be honest with you, some of them don't even want to go live somewhere. They're comfortable where they are, and that's it.
Well, and that bridge we'll cross when we get to it. But some people fall on hard times.
Yeah.
And I don't think that homeless is just a homeless issue. It's a community issue. Some people fall on hard times, and we all go through things. And as a person, you know, I've always heard you don't look down on somebody unless you're pulling them up. So as a person, as a community, as a giver, you know, as a God-fearing man, that's what we do. You know, and I tell people all the time, you know, there's no reason for God to bless me if I can't bless the next person. So part of, you know, one of the things that I've always wanted to do with my nonprofit is a homeless rehab where if you don't, it doesn't matter if you're working at McDonald's, we can find a place for you to live. You know, I'm a real estate professional. There's places out there that you can afford to live if you're doing your part. If you come 20%, I can go 80%. And I don't mind helping anybody. I remember as a kid growing up, my brother used to, when I would see the less fortunate on TV, he would always call to make a donation on my behalf, because it would break my heart seeing what these kids in these other countries are going through if they can't afford food or water and things like that. And you've seen the commercials, I'm sure, where you can donate so much money, 50 cents, feed somebody for the month, things like that, and it will break my heart then. So imagine now that I'm an adult and God has blessed me, how much it breaks my heart now.
Right.
So I mean, I'm very passionate. You know, I don't take anything for granted. God is good to me, and I just want to pass those blessings on to the next person.
Right. I hope you're gonna do all that in Ward 4. So let's get back onto the subject.
Definitely do those same things in Ward 4, and I plan to surround myself with people who have that same passion and want, need, and drive to serve the community.
Right. Okay. If someone came to you with a proposal to build a new piece of public infrastructure in our city, how would you evaluate whether that project was or is worth implementing?
Well, first and foremost, because I'm a voice of the people, I would bring it to my constituents. At the end of the day, it was going to affect their tax dollars. And with me being the voice of my ward or my city, I want to make sure that they're on board and behind whatever decisions the city makes to move for them. You know, I don't want to make a decision that's just going to be a liability to them, and they hold me accountable for that, because I'm big on accountability. I want to make sure. So I would host a town hall meeting. We would hold a town hall meeting and see how my community feels about it. You know, if you're paying for something, you should definitely have a voice in there. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
You know, it's going to affect you, and tax dollars is not a one-time payment.
Oh no.
So it's going to affect your house note going up. You should definitely have a say in that. So first and foremost, I would speak with my constituents, the people who elected me to represent them, see how they feel about whatever it is we're coming to bring to the city of Beaumont, the community of Beaumont, Ward 4, whatever it is, and we will go from there as a whole.
Okay, so all you guys get together at the meeting and everything. So you have your Ward 1, your Ward 2, your Ward 3, your Ward 4, your city councilmen, your councilmen at large. All you guys are together. Your mayor. Okay, so you guys get together. You only speak on your ward, or can you, as a whole, speak about whatever is in the other wards or whatever?
So here's the deal: it takes two people to bring something to council for to get it passed.
Right.
If I bring a water park to Ward 4, I have to get someone else, and I use a water park as an example. Of course, when if I want to, let me make it a little easier. If I want to bring a community center to Ward 4, which we need a community center because we don't have. If I want to bring a community center to Ward 4, I could present the idea. I have to get another council member to second that notion, and then we could bring it to council, and then
Okay.
I have to reach across to other wards and bring it to gain 2 more votes, so that way we can bring it back. So no, we speak as a whole for the whole.
Mhm.
No one member can do something on their own. To
Mm.
build relationships with people across, Ward 4, Ward 1, Ward 2, Ward 3, and the 2 at large, and the mayor, building partnerships with them is very important so we can get things done for the greater good of Beaumont.
Let me go to the views and see what they're asking. I'm gonna go all the way back up to the top because they started talking up top. Herman Davis said we would start giving free rapid test. Oh, he's talking about the coronavirus test. We would start giving free rapid tests at our clinic, Gatlin Research, starting next week. And then I think he answered Dolores, because I think Dolores asked him where it was, and he came back down here and he says we got located in Park Medical 1 off of Harrison's by St. E. It would be by appointment only. You would advertise it. We would advertise it towards the end of the week. Okay, that's what Herman said. Let's see. Mary Williams, what is she saying? Mary says, well, I'm sure as heck hope you can work on candidate award 2 rather than the one that's there. Okay, Mary. we answered that one. Dolores said, okay. Herman David, okay. So she was asking Herman what was his address. Lisa says, Brandon, can you tell some of your story of how you became a successful businessman to encourage others who are wanting to do like you did?
Whew. I gotta give thanks to God first and foremost. Brandon, can you tell some of the story of how you became a successful businessman to encourage others who are wanting to do like you did? So first, giving honor to God. I was like a sponge growing up. I would absorb everything, and there's so many different influences in my life, male influences in my life. From my dad, who was probably my dad. Man, he was the one person I wanted more than anybody in my life. He was the one person who I wanted to make proud. Um, um, he could weld, and he would build burglar bars, fish cookers. My dad was one of those guys. He could do anything. He work on cars. He'd take a water heater and build a barbecue pit out of it. The same barbecue pit you go to Academy and spend $1,000 on, my dad would build it and sell it to you, and it would last a lot longer. So I had a lot of different influences. One of my older cousins who was the first person who I seen purchase, well, second person who I seen purchase rental properties, because my dad had rent houses too, and a lot of Ozan football team could tell you. My dad would pick us up on the weekends and have us painting the house and things like that. He was getting that labor that labor out of us, but he always fed us when we were done. I had so many influences in my life, from older cousins, uncles, my dad, who was the greatest influence. That was where I was able to make the decisions that I made, because I didn't want to disappoint them. I wanted to make them proud. So it goes back to having a role model in my
Yeah.
life, somebody to look up to, somebody who I seen make the right decisions, the positive decisions. Because my dad kind of not to speak too much on him, my dad was raised by his uncle, and he could have left. He could have left home, but he made a decision to change the narrative, be in his kids' lives, implement discipline. I joke a lot about the number of times I would get spankings, which was daily. But now that I'm 35, 36,
You still get
but now that I'm 35, going on 36, I appreciate those.
yeah.
Even though I don't agree that I should have got all of them, I appreciate them
You
because
I'm sure. Go
they kept me on the straight and narrow. And so for me to become a business owner, a successful business owner, it's about decisions and sacrifice and things like that. I'm at a young age, I knew I wanted to take care of my parents. So that was the decision. So I had to make the necessary sacrifices to make that decision come to fruition. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't go out and buy fancy cars. I didn't go out and buy a big house. I bought my first house when I was 22 years old. And to hear my parents say that they were proud of me was everything. I
Yeah.
bought $45,000, I believe it was. And I bought that home, and I was strategic in doing it because it allowed me the opportunity to purchase other properties and rent them out, which influenced my income
Right.
in a way that my job didn't. So when my daughter was born, I was able to leave my 9 to 5 and be her primary source of care.
Mm-hmm.
Because her mother is on the front line. Her mother is in the medical, works at a nursing home, and with COVID hitting, we didn't want to put her in daycare. So I was able to leave my job because of the decisions and sacrifices that we have made prior to that, because of the way that I was raised, because of the morals and values and ethics that my parents had implemented and influenced and instilled in me. So I have to give my parents all the credit there. I have to give God the credit that my business has been open for 4 years now, and the fact that I have been a real estate investor for 10 years now. So I mean, uh, um, mentoring programs, things like that. I mean, if I would say to single mothers or single parents, and I don't want to talk too long. Allow somebody to be hard on your kids, because the world is not going to be nice, and for you to prepare them for the world, they have to have a hard influence in them, whether it's a teacher, a coach, stepfather, whatever it is. Allow somebody to be tough on them, because the world's not gonna sugarcoat anything for them. And I'm just grateful that my dad and my mother was there, and other family members who were able to make mistakes before me and make sure I didn't make those same mistakes. They paved the way, so I have to pay homage. I have to give them thanks.
Okay, so I'm a big advocate when it comes to our downtown area, because it's like a ghost town. So what would you do? And I know you said if somebody brought it up at the meeting, it would take two you guys to vote on it about and this and that to get everything started. So what is your take on the downtown area, and how could you uh, make it successful and bring things in? Because back in my day, it was very successful. We had everything down there, so we want to see it booming again.
So
Without
so here's the deal. When I was in college, we would frequent downtown Crockett Street and things like that. It was Beaumont's 6th Street, right? I don't know if you've ever been to Austin before, but yeah, 6th Street, or even Bourbon and Canal in New Orleans, where there was a plethora of things to do. But downtown hasn't been lucrative for a number of businesses in quite some time.
years, years.
It needs a complete overhaul. I mean, me personally, I think we should focus on the river, because people enjoy waterfront properties or waterfront events, and just the sound of the water itself is calming and relaxing. You know,
Right.
uh, I think downtown has a lot of potential, but it just has not lived up to that potential in so long. Um, that that's a tough one. Again, it hasn't been lucrative for any business in a number of years. And I graduated college in 2008. I can't tell you the last time I've been to Crockett Street or the Dixie and things of that nature. I would look at probably doing something at the water park, at the river.
Right.
You
I'm
know,
I'm
but
hearing, I'm hearing there's something going to be done out that way. So I mean, if so, that's good. But still, you still have that downtown area, and that's vacant. That's ghostly. So I mean, they trying to do something out there.
and there's nothing against downtown, but if I continue to go to this place and nobody is successful there, um, we have to either completely change a complete overhaul, like I said, or change venues.
Right.
Again, I'm a big fan of the river. It's just relaxing. Sometimes I go there just to think and clear my head. you know, and all people enjoy waterfront property. You know, the water is just soothing.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
downtown
calming.
needs to get overhauled.
Right, right. So, what does Ward 4 mean to you as far as its structure, making the area look better and dealing with its infrastructure?
Ward 4 needs a makeover also. I mean, there's a reason we don't have a large amount of economic development, the economic development we deserve. I mean, from prominent businesses, no offense to anybody who live in Ward 4, but for prominent and reputable businesses, we're just not attractive to them. So we have to do our part and clean up the city as a whole. We have to change the perception of Ward 4.
Mhm.
I mean, we're considered a blighted area. I mean, we're covered with dilapidated properties and things of that nature. There's a reason why the West End of Beaumont have 6 grocery stores and Ward 4 has 1. There's a reason why the West End of Beaumont has 2 Chick-fil-A's and Ward 4 has none. You know, our Chick-fil-A is kind of center Beaumont on College Street. You know,
Right.
and we have to do our part. I mean, if you look at the type of businesses that come to Ward 4, you can rent a backhoe. You have United Rentals, you have Brond and Brock and things of that nature. But we don't have any title companies and things like that, and there's a reason for that, you know. So we
I know there's areas out there where it can be, where it can be placed,
said,
but
and
there are
we have
areas, yeah,
plenty
yeah,
of places where we can put these things. But
right.
I mean, from a business owner, where would you have to look at where you're investing. You don't invest without a return. You want an ROI. You want a great ROI. You want a great return on your investment. So you're gonna go to places where you feel like your return on your investment is better.
Hmm.
There's a reason why Sixth Street is the place in Austin where they put their nightlife, or Bourbon and Canal in New Orleans why they put their nightlife there. There's a reason why nobody is invested in Ward 4 because we're a blighted area. You know, we're not attractive to them. You know, I mean, when you look at Ward 4, what do you think? And I'm here for the long haul to help clean up the perception, clean up our city, clean up our ward. You know, there's a number of opportunities. We're very opportunistic. I mean, we have a number of opportunities here in this particular area, and we just need somebody who's passionate about cleaning it up as a whole.
I know everything is about location, location, location. Where I mean, if you have a good location, you gonna bloom. But
It,
we're in Ward 4 now. I mean, it could get better. I mean, it used to be nice out there.
it will get better. Elect me. It'll get better.
I can't let you. I'm in a different ward. I wish I could.
You got for it, Miss Deborah.
I don't live in Ward 4. I'm sorry. I'm gonna move out there. I'm gonna move out there. I'm gonna move out there just for the election period.
We have a place for you to stay, I'm sure.
I know you do.
We can
Mr.
find
K says that's because we need a strong Ward 4 councilman to make these improvements. True that. That's true.
Miss Kathy, we have not just a Ward 4 councilman. We have to pick a panel, a complete panel, who cares about the city as a whole and not their own personal agendas. Again, it takes 2 to bring something to council, 4 to get it passed. So whoever put up there, you have 4 councilmen, 2 at large, and a mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you put up there has to care about the entire city of Beaumont and making sure that the entire city has the things that they need to make sure it runs properly. You know, I mean, give you an example. You know, when you build a car or a business, you make sure you have the motor, you have the transmission, you have the radiator, you have the brakes, you have the gas pump, you have all of these things that's necessary to make sure that that car is going to run. It's the same thing for the city of Beaumont. And right now the council is the motor. We have to make sure that motor is hitting on all of the cylinders, whether it's a V8, V6, 4-cylinder. We have to make sure that it's hitting on all cylinders to make sure that the city is running as a whole.
Isaac Mouton says, how and what are your plans?
Man, my plans could take a long time to speak of. I mean, I would, so the being a business owner, I have learned that the strongest thing is business. The strongest thing in business is partnerships. Again, I tell you that we're in a blighted area. The other day I was headed to my parents' house and I came down Sarah Street. We have 4 red tag properties alone. Kind of give you an example, the city of Beaumont, when they tear down these red tag properties because of neglect, on the low end, it costs them about $5,000 to tear one down.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the city clerk's office and gain and obtain a copy of the red tag list. That's over 300 properties. That's $1.5 million that could go somewhere else. And that's a burden to the city, because if they tear down the property, they're never reimbursed for the debt. They don't take ownership of the property. The property remains not on the tax roll. So partnering with different profits and chodos and things like that, like the city obtains or is given a certain amount of dollars to HUD dollars to rehab these properties. I mean, you can partner with chodos and have them rebuild, rehab, renovate these structures. If they can't be brought back to the 2015 code, tear them down and replace them with new structures to make your city look better. Now, instead of you burdening the city of Beaumont, you're beautifying the city of Beaumont. And then once that property is purchased by a homeowner, it's back on the tax roll. So now you're generating revenue for the city of Beaumont. One of the things, scholarship programs with the chodos. You know, you could put the revenue from those particular programs in front of low-income kids. One of the things that I've always wanted to do was a scholarship program where you know, for minorities, which I'd say 7 or 8 out of 10 homes are single parent homes or even raised by their grandparents, and they're not afforded the same opportunity as some of our counterparts. Well, to give you an example, I met with the union the other day, and I didn't know that they offered certain programs, whether it was through the plumbers union or the IBEW, where it's $80 a semester to go to school, and they pay you while you're in school.
Mm-hmm.
And you graduate, or when you finish and you get your certificate, you could be making $100,000+ a year. So now you're just taking that young man from, and I say young man because I'm, or that young lady or that person from growing up in an environment where he felt like he had no way out, to giving him all of the opportunities that the world have to offer. And now he can look back and take care of his parents, his grandparents, or his siblings, and whoever helped him along the way. And when you put these type of opportunities in front of these people who grew up in the struggle, now they won't resort to a life of crime, because crime is normally a result of lack of opportunity, lack of education, things like that way. And Beaumont right now is currently ranked one of the worst places to live in, one of the saddest cities. We have a higher crime rate per capita than Houston. And there's 118,000 people live here in Beaumont, and there's millions of people that live in Houston. There's no way our crime rate should outdo theirs.
Yeah.
But if we put these opportunities, I mean, partnerships, coalitions, relationships, if we partner with, you know, give you an example, if I get the union to come and do if I can get people such as the union or things like that to partner with BU and do a career day, and just let them know, hey, when you start this program, it's $15 an hour. Once you're accepted, it's $25 an hour. Once you finish, it's $50 an hour. Put these opportunities in front of these kids and let them know that you know, you don't have to become an entertainer or an athlete to make it out. And I say that because Ward 4 is predominantly minority.
Yeah.
And you know, that's how we feel. We relate to things that look at like us. If you turn on a TV right now, you see us in as a rapper or an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
When you put opportunities such as myself, or people such as myself, who I'm not a rapper, I'm not an athlete, I'm one of those people who got an education, pound that pavement, and made something out of my life. You know, everybody's not going to have the same talents as Jay-Z or Beyonce. You're not gonna have the same talents as LeBron James or Dak Prescott, but you can be Brandon Johnson. You can pave that pavement. You can pound that pavement, and I'll do, you know, whatever it is that people think, or whatever limits that people have placed on you.
Right. Well, give me 2 steps, and we're going to try to end it. Give me 2 steps that you would take to put Ward 4 back on his foot. You know, even though I don't live in Ward 4, I'm concerned about it. I'm concerned about the whole city of Beaumont. You know, whether Ward 4, Ward 3, or whatever. We just need to get back on. We just need to get back where we came from, or how we used to be, or better. So then give 2 steps.
Repeat the question.
Give me 2 steps. If you're elected, give me 2 steps you would take to put your Ward 4, your community, back on its foot. Because like we said earlier, you know, it looked like it's not like it used to be. It's not there anymore.
So Ward 4. So let me start with this. I attended Lamar University,
Mm-hmm.
and when I was there, one of I was a peer advisor from 2005 to 2008 when I graduated college. And the number one question I was asked every year, every semester during Week of Welcome, or whenever we had to give a tour for the incoming students, was, why would you put a university in the middle of a ghetto? Beaumont is not in a financial crisis. With $45 million in the account, we have to be better stewards of what we're blessed with, what we've been blessed with. And one thing that I can look into with local corporations,
Mm-hmm.
I'll kind of give you an example. All of the plants are in Ward 4.
Yeah.
Exxon, Arkema, all of them are in Ward 4. One of the things we could look into that the local corporations we currently have pump more money into the community that they benefit from instead of just tax breaks. You know, I don't want to ruffle any feathers, but I mean, that's one of the biggest opportunities, having those people invest in the area that they're benefiting from. Also, community policing. When if Ward 4 is considered a high crime area, do community policing.
Mm-hmm.
When I was growing up, we had Officer Stevenson.
Mm-hmm.
He was my DARE teacher. I remember one particular, I was student of the month at Alma Mercy University, and
that must be your daughter, huh?
sorry, you saw that? I was hoping you.
Yeah.
My nephew.
Oh, okay.
Student of the month, and he gave me this picture of him when he played college football, and I had it framed and everything, you know. And Officer Stevenson was a huge influence in my life. Also, we have to get back to these positive influences in our community.
Was that with that DARE program?
Yes, ma'am. It was DARE program. We don't have DARE. I don't think we have DARE anymore, or Chicken Club like that.
No,
nothing on this side of town for sure. Cops and Kids at Rogers Park. We need Cops and Kids at Spry Park, at Alice Keith Park, at Liberia Park.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I mean, you know, we have all of these places where we can host community events also. When I say community events, our Mother Mercy don't even have the bazaar anymore.
No.
You know, my dad used to build fish cookers and barbecue pits and would donate them to our Mother Mercy to raffle off and things like that. He would donate them. But my parents know everybody on their street.
Right.
Everybody. And we grew up on a dead end street. From this side of my parents' street to this side of my parents' street, they know everybody in the neighborhood.
Right. And that's how it used to be.
That's how it used to be. I know the lady who lives here, and I know the couple that lives here. I don't know anybody else on my street.
Either.
To get back to building that community environment, that community, because that's what that village mentality. It takes a village to raise a child. We have to get back to that. We have
Yeah.
to, because at the end of the day, either we all win or we all lose. And we're here for a greater Beaumont. We want Beaumont as a whole to be safer. We want Beaumont as a whole to be a place of opportunity. People always ask me. My uncle would always ask me, why do people leave Beaumont? Why do young people always leave Beaumont? And now that I'm running for council, I have evaluated that question, and I want to know, what does Beaumont offer people to stay?
Right.
Because we're nothing more than nomads. We're going to go where the opportunity is.
Right.
So if I have a degree in this, and the opportunity here is $30,000 a year, and the opportunity in Houston is $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year, along with room to advance and grow, I'm going to go where that opportunity is. So
Yeah.
whole have to make sure we're doing our part to make this place the best that it can be. And again, with $45 million in the account, Beaumont is not in a financial crisis. We have to be good what God has blessed us with and make.
And you got to realize where that money is going.
And that's another thing that I'm big on: transparency. Let the citizens know where that money is going.
I know where that money is going.
If we're gonna do 10 roads, if we're gonna renovate 10 roads this year and try to do the drainage in Ward 4, that needs to be posted somewhere.
Yeah.
These website and let the citizens, the tax-paying citizens, know where that money is going, because that's who we're working for. Let those know that their voice is being heard.
Right.
When you're taking your money, taking your tax dollars, and it's falling on deaf ears.
Right.
Anybody can do that. I mean, at that point in time, Texas is just, an unarmed robbery, right? So let people know that we're working for them and that we hear them, and keep them in the loop, so that way they can hold us accountable. Well, Brandon, you told us here in Ward 4 that you was going to renovate Park Street, Florida Street, Highland, and things like that in 2021. That hasn't been done. Why not? Well, because Mr. So-and-so, A, B, C, and D happened, and it's still on our agenda. But instead of us getting it done in August, we're going to get it done in November.
Right.
Transparency is key. Accountability is key. And I'm one of those people. I'm built for it. Hold me accountable. You keep honest people honest that way.
Right. Well, the clock on the wall says it's time for us to get on out of here. And I hate that, because I was enjoying, everything you were saying. And I'm sorry, say it one more time.
I'll come back on the show if you want me to.
Oh yeah. We got to do that. I enjoy meeting you tonight, Brandon. And like I said, just come anytime you feel like. But Terry Roy said one thing. He says he drove through Ward 4 today and is in bad shape. So you're gonna have to get on your job now. You're gonna have to get it together.
And Terry Roy is a wealth of knowledge. I have learned so much from him. He's so knowledgeable.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get Terry on my show one night.
You need to get your show. He'll tell you about the TECQ. He'll tell you about and the influence that the EPA have over them and things of that nature. Terry Roy has put me on so much game that it's just, like, kind of give you an example. Our roads right now, I think it's at 67, which is, and we need to be at least at 69. And what the TECQ says, you only have to do so many of those roads. They set the minimum. They set the bar for you.
Right.
And they say we have to do 10 roads a year. That's the minimum. You don't have to stop there. You don't have to stop there. And go above and beyond. I'm one of those people, my dad didn't want you to bring nothing home less than a B in his house. So if you tell your child, bring a C home and you'll be okay, that's the minimum. Bring home.
Not in this house.
and Terry Roy, I hope you drove through Beaumont during the daytime and you can see how we look, because if you drove through at nighttime with the lack of lighting, you won't see anything. I can't count the number of times I've almost ran over people because they're walking at night. Our street lighting is one of the things that I would love to affect or influence, because, and even though city council doesn't have a direct effect on the lighting, we can influence the city manager to get with Entergy to change out the lights for LED lights. And the benefit of that is LED lights are supposed to last longer. They burn less electricity. They're bright. If you're in a well lit area, you're that's a deterrence, possible deterrence for crime and things like that. You know, somebody might not break into your home if it's well lit.
Right.
They might not break into your car if it's well lit and things like that. But if it's in an area like where we live now in Ward 4 and it's dark outside, and especially this time of the year when it gets dark at 5:30, it's pitch black outside. Now, if you go down Dowling in Delaware, it's lit up like a Christmas tree or a football stadium. You know, you don't miss anything there. So, I mean, I think that the people, the citizens, the constituents, the people of Ward 4 deserve those same, that same love and respect, that same love in TLC, you know.
Yes, yes. Okay, so the clock on the wall says time for Dawn said you have to stop him. I know what she's talking about. Then she said LOL.
I didn't even,
Look, you talking about you yapping.
but that we're cooking or something. She don't have nothing to do. Don't she have a event tomorrow she need to be preparing for?
But I want to go ahead and thank my viewers for coming on tonight and going a little bit overboard on the time. I apologize for it, and I want to thank you guys for as always. You always support me. God bless you. God keep you is my prayer, and you always know that if I can help somebody as I pass along this way, then I know that my living is not in vain. Terry, listen to what I'm saying because I'm be calling you, and also there's another person on here I need to call. Somebody that was running for an office. I can't remember who it was. He probably got off.
What office it was?
I don't know who was on. I forgot who was on here. But don't worry. I'll look back over here and see who it was.
Deborah, thank you for this.
I'm sorry.
I said I'm going to continue to watch you, and thank you for this platform.
Thank you. I appreciate it. God bless you. God bless you. Stay on for a minute. And so thank you guys. I appreciate you guys and smooches. Have a good night. Bye.